Hey, I'm David with Malcom's News Crew, and I'm here with a bunch of real estate managers today, and we're going to ask them a few questions about their job. So, give me the basics of a real estate manager.
All right, so basically what a real estate manager does is they're going to be watching the market trends from nationally to locally. So your national trends, a lot of them are going to come from Florida. So basically if it's a buyer's market in Florida, you can assume that as it gets closer to your region, where we're in Missouri, it'll become a buyer's market and vice versa. And so basically after you've watched those trends, you're also going to need to go out and find crews for your project. Now each house that you're working on or complex, whatever, that's considered your project. And so you're going to need to find crews to go in there, renovate them, because most of the houses you're going to get are not going to be up at scale. So you go to fix them up, doing renovations you need, meet any codes that requirement within that city or region, wherever you're at. So after you do that, if you're with like a smaller firm, a lot of people are going to make you do like collecting rent. You're going to have to be the guy that does all the fixes for the houses, and that's for like a smaller firm. If you're a larger firm, you're pretty much just mostly going to be the one that's watching trends and then going out and finding people to do these jobs for you as opposed to you doing it yourself. And so those are big factors. Also, as far as like as the manager, if you're a smaller firm, if you're within a smaller firm where you're independent on your own, you're probably roughly going to be between 20 to 30 houses. As far as the larger firms, they're going to be roughly between 200 to 300 houses or more, or properties, not just houses. I mean, you're talking housing complexes, things like that, fourplexes, things like that. And those are essentially the main driving factors that pushes this market as of today.
Okay. And because of these advances in technology, is that moving you towards other venues within real estate, or are you trying to stay in managing?
Well, for me personally, because I'm an independent, so I'm smaller. So I do put myself, I'm pushing myself more towards other venues. I work with a guy right now that I am his construction manager. So I go through and I make the crews and I fix his houses, and he turns around and sells them. Whereas the other portion of what I'm doing now is just the finding trends and then buying and selling the houses as well. So yes, I do have my foot in other doors. I would say for the bigger firms, if you have right now, they just stick with their managing. But like I said, as technology advances, more people are going to need to learn the technology and how to read that, and so those jobs are going to start dwindling.
And what are some factors that would affect this job?
So there's several factors actually. Your first easy to know is your location. That's a big key. The weather, all that. Nobody wants to be next to a gravesite. It could be a great house, but nobody wants to live next to a gravesite. So that's a big factor into it, and those are some of the leading driving factors that involve with finding people, where you want to buy your house. You're also looking at schools, crime rate, things of that nature, obvious things. And then another thing that's really pushing us right now is the technology. So because of our advancement in technology, our job is actually starting to get pushed out. Roughly right now, you're going to say your average manager is going to make between $50,000 to $100,000 a year. And I mean, that can go up with your firm as more people you get, obviously, but those are the ranges. But as technology comes in, our jobs are going to start becoming obsolete. So therefore, we're going to start making more money. There's not really a good projection of how much money that's going to be, but you can just assume it's going to be higher than $50,000 or $100,000.
What are some of the qualifications for a real estate manager?
Some of the qualifications are like for college graduates. You don't have to have a specific major, but majors that do help are business administration, public administration, having a bachelor's in that, or having even an AA degree. Some smaller universities will tailor your schedule towards the real estate classes to be more specific. Some job education certifications you have to have, real estate broker's license you have to have, and it varies from state to state, and some require to be a certified property manager. In Kansas and in Missouri, you have to have that certification. Optimal skill set, you got to be able to communicate with people well, interpersonal analytical skills, being able to interpret data and stuff like that. Computer literacy, being able to know how to operate the computer and stuff like that, and having leadership skills in organization.
Tell me about the overall market as a real estate manager.
Workers can work in and out of offices. Most bigger firms work in office, mostly watching the market trends. Employment is supposed to go down 30,000 employees from the current employment, which is roughly around 300,000 people, and this number will continue to decrease as as technology continues or advances.
All right, that pretty much wraps it up. I think we got some pretty good insight on what a real estate manager does and what their future could be. Thank you for your time.